What's up?
Oh, I'm just compiling all the top sports scores, news, and odds so I can make the very best bets.
Me too. BetOnline.ag.
Join today and receive your 50% welcome bonus at betonline.ag.
The other thing that Bull Pet said was that the Celtics are interested in Anthony Davis regardless of what happens with Kyrie, and that they're confident, he'd re-sign. And I guess they were talking about Kyrie on that, but what about AD? Are we assuming that there's going to be a contract extension as part of any trade deal, or are we going to move and gamble on the ability to re-sign him the same way we did with Kyrie?
I think at this point you're not going to get any sort of signing. I think it almost disadvantages. It's disadvantageous for him to sign, to extend or anything. So I think it actually they're almost forced because if he signs, he can't sign the mega super extension and then dealt and then it kind of ruins his leverage. And so I think Windhorst was talking about this, that basically he has to go to free agency. There's the path is he has to go through the free agency.
Will he be restricted?
No.
See, that's really bad. That's to me, that's really scary to give up everything we've been rebuilding with.
Mm-hmm.
We might only have one piece left and everybody's gone. That's a huge gamble. And then all of a sudden we're back at ground zero again. That's the thing that kind of scares me in this Anthony Davis thing. That's why it's like, I almost feel like you got to get a re-sign before you trade for him. You got to have knowledge that you're going to have him for several years. I mean, I know Boston got the new practice facility, and they've done all these things, and there's the mystique and everything else. But man, imagine if they had another tough year next year, right? Just imagine Kyrie stays, they sign him to that deal. Turns out Kyrie is a locker room killer. Anthony Davis doesn't like him as much as he thought because now he's got to play with him every day. And all of a sudden you're stuck with Kyrie and Anthony Davis walks. That's an ugly, ugly situation.
Well, so maybe not. I mean, it's certainly not preferable. I mean, the Celtics are in a bit of a, they've got to make a choice here, right? They've got to figure out which world they're going to live in. And if they aren't going to be able to compete with it, does Tatum Brown get you to a point where you're competitive with Giannis and whatever Milwaukee can build around him, or Philly with whatever around Embiid becomes, whether they trade Simmons and get a real point guard or what have you. Are you able to be competitive in that world? And I think that's in doubt. I think while Tatum I still believe in Tatum. I'm not sure that he has a ways to go in year 3 to show that he can be that linchpin scorer. Brown showed growth, but as to what end, to what degree? What's great about
they can't grow in this environment, though. They can't. The volume of shots, like if you really,
but so what?
But my point
really
is,
think
if you want to,
if you want a player, scorers, no,
dude, if you want a
neither
player,
of them are.
They can't be. They can't
no,
be in this
I'm not talking about
construct.
that. I'm not talking about what they did. I'm talking about you take who they are. If Kyrie isn't part of it, if it's if you take that out, you wipe out the slate clean.
Then I think yes, that's exactly my point.
I don't think they are.
But I haven't made the point yet. The point is that they need to be able to do what all those other stars do at this stage of the game, which is a lot of volume and a lot of mistakes. And then they work through that. If they don't, no. Do I think they're going to get there playing third and fourth options? No, definitely not.
When? When? And meanwhile,
they're freaking 21 and 20.
Yeah, but at what point? Like how long do you wait? You've got stars under your control now. You let them walk for nothing.
You don't
and then
have
you
them
fill
under
nothing
your control.
around.
You have one
Tatum
star.
And Brown.
You
That
have one
sound
star.
Great.
You have one star, and you're talking about moving all of these pieces that just took all these years to build to go get another star who might not stay after a year.
might not stay, but you could keep these pieces, let Kyrie walk, let Horford walk, have Hayward become something or maybe not, and then what are you left with? You're left with 2 stars that are okay, that you're going to have to max out, that may reach their potential or may not. Or you trade them for a top 5 star now, and you go for the hope that you can re-sign him and Kyrie. I mean, it's right? It's Tatum and Brown for Kyrie and Anthony Davis. 26, 27-year-old, top 10, top 5 players in the league versus 2 players that one has probably top 10 potential, one has top 20 potential.
Yep. No, I get
Bird
it.
in hand. I
I
mean,
get it. But
but
all right, but just follow me here. If a year from now you've got a Gordon Hayward who didn't rebound on a $30 million deal, Vin Baker, and none of these guys, none of these young players, and we're starting over, are you going to be singing, hey, that was the right thing to do then?
I would say it was worth a shot. I would certainly regret. Look,
You think
all of this
Brad
is about
Stevens
what you
sticks
know.
around in that
All
scenario?
all of this is about what you know. This is about
Right.
agents
What
talking
I
to
know
agents
is
and
that
all that.
Anthony
But
Davis won't be signed beyond next year.
I know, but you have to take risks and gambles. I mean, that's the whole
I don't see
deal.
why they can't
So
have him re-signed before
because
he's traded.
well, look, I'm not into the cap. I don't know how his super max affects whatever. I'm not going to get into that. I really don't care about that.
Oh,
What I'm
meaning that
saying
the
is,
Celtics couldn't make the
well,
deal for him because of the salary.
no, I don't think that's it at all. I think it's a question of his signing and how that impacts his ability to be traded. But that we can't go
Or
down that road because
at least a conversation where he signs an extension after the trade then.
I don't think I don't think you can do that. I don't the KG deal I don't think exists anymore in the CBA.
That
So
you can't trade for a guy and then offer the extension like you do with
I don't
every other
no
player in
no
October?
no, you can't. It's not every other player in October. Only in guys that are extension eligible. So like Brown is extension eligible. So by the end of October, they have to make a decision on whether or not he's going to
So he
continue.
would not be extension eligible after being
Um,
traded.
Brown would be, but
No, I mean Davis.
Davis is a different. He's a different situation. He's a different situation altogether. So, but I don't want to go down that road because I don't know enough.
Yeah,
I
we
couldn't
have to
speak
figure
specific,
that out though.
but
That's really critical.
well, maybe not. Would he even want to? I mean, the point I wanted to get to though, because the Celtics cap sheet after 20 opens up big time. So after this season, right now, as you sit, if Kyrie were to opt in, which he won't, if Al Horford were to opt in, which he won't, but if not, I mean, basically all they're left with after this coming season is Smart's 13 million, Tatum's 9 million, Gordon Hayward's 34 million, which is big, but they're really
You're reading Keith
the
Smith's little breakdown.
no, I'm not actually. I'm reading from
Yeah, you're right on the cap.
but
Basketball reference.
yeah. So I mean, the point is though, is that like they're it's wide open for them after that. So if you trade and you do that, then you start from scratch. You don't have the assets that you had, but Celtics have all of their own picks and they've got cap space. And I don't think they're going to make a deal because of some of the stuff we're talking about, his ability to extend and or not extend. I don't think they're going to make a deal without giving up all of Brown, Tatum, and the Memphis pick. They're going to have one of those 3 at least, if not 2. Because
I
while
agree with that.
everybody's
They'll have
all
one of
bent out of
those.
shape about
Yep.
trying to make a deal for Anthony Davis right now, and the Knicks are going to give everything, and the Lakers are going to give everything. All those teams are still going to run up against the same issue you and I are just talking about right now, which is it's almost impossible, or it's next to impossible, whatever, to make a deal with him now. Even the Lakers, his professed place he wants to go, I don't think that should make them feel like they can empty the bank vault. Maybe more so than any of them because the rest of them are desperate. But I don't think the Celtics are going to empty the vault, back up the Brinks truck, as it were, to get Anthony Davis here. Just don't see it.
Mm. Mm. They gotta be really confident they can re-sign him. I'll say that. Do you
I think,
imagine?
yeah.
Do you imagine if we traded for him and then he winds up in LA in the in free
Okay,
agency?
but you could trade him in February too. I mean, let's go
Oh
down
my
that road.
God.
You trade
Just
for him,
so
you give
here's
up Brown and
yeah,
Tatum, and
oh,
you flip him to LA, and you get Ball and and
oh my
Ingram
God.
and
And barf
whatever.
and more barf and
Well,
barfing.
but what you can't have it. I mean, if you're gonna do it, you have the asset. Then you make the call as to where he goes. It's not like it's not like this is like you're just gonna give away everything and never get anything back. There are benefits here, You could there's still possibilities. Come
Dude,
on.
that scenario that you just described is a worse scenario than the one we lived this year.
Why? Why is
Tra-
that worse?
Trade for Anthony Davis,
Yeah.
go into next season and get to a point where you're spinning him off at the trade deadline.
Well,
That's
you're
uglier
talking about
than
him
what we
leaving.
just did.